Robert Mugabe's son has been deported from South Africa after a near-fatal shooting in Johannesburg. While South Africa faces a rampant illegal immigration problem, as well as a violence crime problem, it seems that Robert Mugabe's son has decided to contribute to these massive issues, not only entering South Africa illegally, but actually being involved along with an accomplice in a near-fatal shooting, one that actually saw the courts decide to deport him. But before we get into this massive story, could I please remind you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already? It's completely free, and all you have to do is click on the subscribe button below the video. If you would like to support the channel, consider becoming a Power Club member. You can do so by clicking on the join button below. Now let's get into it. So a few hours ago, at the time of recording, we learned that Mugabe's son is officially going to be deported from South Africa. So, as reported by ENCA, Bellarmine Mugabe has paid 600,000 rand as a fine and been deported from South Africa. The former Zimbabwean president's son and his cousin were sentenced by the Alexandra Magistrates Court on Wednesday morning. Mugabe had been in custody since mid-February alongside his cousin and co-accused Tobias Mugabe Matongodze on attempted murder charges stemming from an incident at the family's home in Johannesburg's upscale Hyde Park area. Mugabe admitted to being in South Africa illegally and to pointing a toy gun, where have we heard that one before, in a separate incident, while Matongodze pleaded guilty to attempted murder and other charges. The Alexandra Magistrates Court fined Mugabe 600,000 rand on 2 counts, or 24 months imprisonment in default. It also ordered his immediate deportation, with police to escort him to Johannesburg's O.R. Tambo International Airport. Mr. Mugabe, you can count yourself very lucky that the complainant in your case was not injured, Magistrate Renier Boshoff ruled, adding it was unclear whether Matongodze had taken the rap for his cousin in the case involving the gardener. Matongodze received concurrent prison terms of up to 3 years, which the court described as merciful, citing, among other mitigating factors, that the complainant had been remunerated. He will be deported after serving his sentence. So now that we've learned of Mugabe's punishment and the fact that he will be getting deported, let's take a closer look at what actually happened on that fateful night. So although the judgment came down recently, it was actually in mid-February that Mugabe was arrested after this fateful incident. So let's take a look at what happened. So as explained in this Daily Maverick article, Mugabe was arrested on Thursday, 19th of February after a 23-year-old employee was shot and wounded at Mugabe's Hyde Park residence. For those who are not familiar, Hyde Park is one of the most exclusive and expensive suburbs, not only in Johannesburg, but in the entire South Africa. The victim is being treated for 2 gunshot wounds and is in critical condition, and fortunately we did hear that the victim was able to survive the incident, thank God. Mugabe was taken to the Bramley police station after the SAPS officers were called to the scene. Sources told Daily Maverick that neighbors heard 2 to 3 gunshots. So, funnily enough, the police reported that Mugabe was initially uncooperative. He allegedly locked himself inside the house for 2 hours while police negotiated with him and a friend. The two were initially detained for questioning at the police station. SAP's spokesperson, Dimakatso Nevului, has since confirmed their arrest, and the police are investigating a case of attempted murder. The police can confirm that the 2 men were brought in for questioning that in relation to the shooting that occurred earlier today at Hyde Park, and that they've been officially arrested and expected to appear before Alexandra Magistrates Court soon on charges of attempted murder. So what's actually really interesting is that this is not the first time that Mugabe's son has been involved in controversy. It explains that he and his brother Robert Jr. were reportedly kicked out of their 70,000 rand a month Morningside apartment in 2017 after a brawl left a security guard injured. Mugabe was also reportedly expelled from his Harare High School in 2013 for ill discipline. And just to clarify for those who might not know, because these articles are a bit confusing with their wording, what happened is that Mugabe's son had an alleged toy gun with which he decided to point and threaten the gardener with, but his cousin had a real gun. And so he shot the gardener in the back. And so it's technically two separate incidents. And I'm guessing that's why the pair of them received different sentences. But beyond just this case and the fact that a real tyrant's son has been allowed to enjoy the high life in Johannesburg, there's something bigger at play here. You see, illegal immigration has been a massive problem for South Africans pretty much throughout the country's history, at least in the democratic era. Yes, we have high-profile individuals such as this who've obviously hit the headlines, but there are thousands, if not millions, of more illegal immigrants who have poured into the country and are committing crimes. Now, I understand there's going to be the Helen Zillas of the world who call me xenophobic, and I really don't care. Because ultimately, yes, there are good illegal immigrants. Sounds a bit strange to say because being illegal is a crime. But I understand some of them are not criminals. They don't commit criminal acts. They really are just looking for a better life. But the reality is that there are many, many illegal immigrants who are part of criminal cartels, who do participate in drug and even human trafficking. People such as Mugabe's son, who are violent and have a history of violence. And then, of course, we even have those with other offenses, such as the spaza shop owners who sold expired and toxic goods to school children who ended up dying as a result. This is no joke. And if we take a look at this poll that was actually run by the SRF, they found that amongst the most pressing issues for South Africans, illegal immigration is the second biggest issue in their minds. And it shows here 23.3% of respondents view this as the most pressing issue in South Africa. And this is not something to be taken lightly. Unfortunately, not enough has been done in order to curb this massive threat. And one really hopes that if people can change the way they vote and really focus on parties that have the right priorities in mind, the situation could change. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you found it informative, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more content. Until next time, I'm Matthew Cohen, and this is the Power Pod.